I'm online and I've got some advice for you. You just stick with me here, you're gonna love this. Let me show you my house real quick. This is where I live in LA right now, working on my rideshare strategies newsletter and showing people. I sell this for 300 bucks because I think it's worth that much money. You'll make that much money back just following my strategies. But this all goes into my first piece of advice, and that is don't become a workaholic. I actually got myself sick, just had some spicy Thai food, put some liquid aminos in there. I went to a really good Thai restaurant not too far down the street and took a ride over there. Didn't want to drive, so thankfully I saved up my money so I could afford to drive. Here in my garage, I just have a Prius way back there in my backyard. It's just a Prius, not a Lamborghini like Mr. Ty Lopez might have. But taking my vitamins and stuff, and no one's paying me to make any of these endorsements, so I'm not going to do any endorsements. But number one piece of advice, don't be a workaholic. You're going to grind yourself down too much. It ain't that much fun, especially for like a lot of my Uber and Lyft friends. You're driving all day. Don't get stuck in the ride share rut. Give yourself breaks. I had a couple friends actually get really angry because there's a 12-hour cap now on how many hours you can drive. And that actually is like federally mandated for safety, right? So, I mean, you know, technically, I wasn't going to say this, but now that I'm saying it, let me just say don't do this before I say it. You could, if you really wanted to, drive like 12 hours for Uber and then 12 hours for Lyft and drink energy drinks, but you're going to get into a mental state where you're always frazzled and you'll probably kill yourself and maybe your customer. So don't do that if you're an Uber Lyft driver. But technically speaking, I think it's possible. So anyhow, that idea aside, so you don't want to be a workaholic. That all goes into not being a workaholic. Number two, listen to good voices. Like people like Dave Ramsey. Is you want to get your money right. A lot of you guys are driving Lyft and Uber just to get your money right, or whatever job you have, real estate, being a lawyer, whatever it is. This guy, he will give you some really good wake-up calls. And I'm listening to one of his rants just before I made this video to, man, he like lambasts everyone in America. If you are working now and you cannot retire a millionaire, you did something wrong in the United States. It's not that hard to save, invest your money, do things right. I was in a very broke position many years ago, and I'll tell you guys a secret. I just prayed. I literally prayed and asked God for guidance and advice. And I started reading the Bible and the Gospels in the book of Matthew. And Matthew 6:33, I call that the prosperity verse or the money verse. It says, seek first the kingdom of God, or in other words, look for godly people and its righteousness. So the kingdom's righteousness, or help God, good people that are basically being better, right? Does that make sense? So you want to be around good people that are trying to be better. That's very hard to figure out if you personally don't believe in God, or you have like a worldview that's dark and like money is evil and people are evil. You gotta let all that go and look on the bright side. I don't know how else to say it right now. So anyhow, seek first the kingdom of God and its righteousness. All these things will be added to you. And all these things mean like the money, the clothes, the house, the car, stuff you need, the family, pets, kitty cat, whatever. So, because the previous verses in that book talk about basically people that worry about the clothes they're going to wear. That could be you. You worry about what you're going to wear before you go out. And like, oh, should I wear this hat or that hat? I mean, it's so stupid. Like, just put on the hat and go outside. Who cares, you know? So anyhow, listen to good voices. People like Dave Ramsey. I got Book of Proverbs open over here because I think it's one of the best books in the Bible. One of my mentors actually told me it was also his favorite book. So studying that stuff, and that's all helped me come up quite a bit with my money and with my thoughts. And am I perfect? I don't think so, but at least I'm growing, right? And then my number three piece of advice, and this is going out specifically to Uber and Lyft people, has to do with listening to the people in your car when you have a large group of people and you're dealing with who is the responsible party. This is like especially true on Friday or Saturday night when you have like one person requesting the ride and then the other three friends or two friends, whatever, like can't decide where they want to go. And you're just sitting there waiting at like 10, 15 cents a minute, figuring out, wait, where are we going to go? Always, in my opinion, always give the preference. Sometimes the person who requests the ride is like the weakest person in the group and they won't speak up for themselves. Always defer back to that person, because if their friends try to use that person and like say, oh, we're gonna go to Taco Bell, then we're gonna go to the bowling alley, then we're gonna go to the club, then we're gonna all go home, all on his account, that one person that you used his account that much that didn't want to speak up, he will hate you. But because you just listened to his friends the whole time. So most people aren't going to be that weak and wimpy, but you always just go back, what do you want to do? What does that one person want to do? Because they're the one paying for the ride, right? And if they're passed out or drunk or something, I don't know, you're just gonna have to be careful with that one. So that's a little tip for dealing with a crowd of people in your Uber. Yeah, so those are my 3 pieces of advice for you guys. Thanks for watching this live video, and I'm only doing one take here, so have a good day.